did you get cast as the doctor on Murphy Brown in that episode, which was kind of a pivotal episode? That got a lot of attention.
Indeed, it did.
It was the breast cancer episode.
I don't know. They just wanted me. I mean, you often get cast that way, and they wanted someone mature and with something of a name. I know that was important at the time. And someone thought of me, or my agent threw my name at them, and they said, yes, perfect. Or their casting person said, yes. And that was that. It was a marvelous bunch of episodes that she did.
Does her set tend to reflect her personality? Is there a warmth to it, or is it another one where you feel like an outsider for the day?
I think you're always an outsider. Unless somebody makes an effort, you're always an outsider.
By definition.
But I'm a grown woman now, and I don't mind lunching by myself, or I don't mind inviting someone from the cast to lunch. Say, you want to eat? Let's go eat. That kind of thing. But you're always an outsider.
You know, you're involved in a TV show now called Oz. Can you imagine having that show on television in, say, the 50s?
Does that tell you what my answer? First of all, I can't imagine being in the 50s, and I can't imagine it being on commercial television now as we speak.
Because?
Oh, well, it's graphically violent. It's graphically sexual. It's all of the big, big no-nos. The language is foul. It's a maximum security prison. That's what it is. For real and for sure.
Is there a part of you that says, I'm kind of surprised to be involved in this?
Yeah. Yeah, there are things I don't like about it sometimes. At the same time, I'm very proud to be a part of it because I think it's a brilliant show. I think Tom Fontana has a certain fascination, he's our writer-producer, certain fascination with blood and sexuality. And I said to him, you're a perfect lapsed Catholic. This is the most Catholic show I've ever seen in my life. Well, it's biblical. It is really biblical. It is epic. It's like Bruegel's painting of hell. No good deed goes unpunished at Oz. It's a fascinating show. I think it's brilliantly written. I'm especially proud, and I feel privileged to be in the company of such astonishing actors. Oh, my God. These people, on the average of once every episode, somebody gives an Emmy nomination performance. Of course, we've not been nominated. We're not going to be. I know that now. When there was a Cable Ace Award, there no longer is. I won one, but it ain't going to happen. Not in this lifetime. Sopranos, yes, but Oz, no.
When you started on television, there were barely 3 networks. Now,
yeah.
Now you have so many options, and cable has made huge inroads. You're on a cable show.
Yeah.
How is that different?
Oh, my goodness, in so many ways. First of all, there's no commercials, so that the suits can't come down and tell you how to do your show. HBO took a huge chance on Oz. It's just a very bold show. It's, as we've discussed before, very violent. It's very graphic sexually. There is nudity. It's just every bad thing you can think of that would be on television. And HBO had the guts and the testes to say, do it your way, we will not interfere. And we may be wrong and we may be sorry, but do it your way, Tom Fontana. And that's the way it is with a lot of the cable shows. It's completely different. It is not run, in that sense, creatively speaking, by the people in the executive offices. They're the ones who are brought the idea. Somebody pitches an idea to them and they say, that sounds marvelous, do it. Or that sounds marvelous, give me some examples and do some, give me some rundowns on story ideas. It's just a whole nother world. As a result, you're going to get some very, very creative people involved between the writers, producers, great directors, and superb actors. I work with the most amazing people. And it is a joy to be there every day. Most people always say to me, well, is it intense there because it's the prison drama and it's so violent? We are so rowdy. We have such a good time. We become very, very like a family. I'm very close to all of the leading actors who are there every single day in the show. Lee Tergesen, who I think is just stunning as an actor. Chris Maloney, stunning. Ernie Hudson, fabulous. Kirk Acevedo. I mean, I can't wait to go to work to do that show. It's a whole different country. It's another language.
Having the advantage of age now in looking at conflicts in Hollywood. Hollywood has always been a place with a young mindset. Do you see conflicts now in interesting ways?
Oh my goodness, the young people who don't know people like me are everywhere, and if they do, it's sometimes West Side Story, as though that were the only thing I ever did in my whole life. There's a wonderful story that almost sounds apocryphal but is real about the great director Fred Zinnemann, who went to see a young executive, I think it was at Fox, about a movie. And the young executive actually said to him, well, Mr. Zinnemann, tell me about yourself. And Zinnemann said, you first. Isn't that marvelous? Tell me about yourself. Oh, God. These people don't even do their homework. That's the worst part. So that casting a film really has become about casting gorgeous young people, people who have some kind of track record for making tons of money and not necessarily having much talent at all. Though, by the way, I think some of the most talented actors and actresses that ever happened are in this era, not when I was younger. Most people say, that's not fair. What about Spencer Tracy? What about Bette Davis? Yes, there were those, but in those days, there were really more personalities than anything else. Not Tracy, and not not the obvious ones, but I think we have immensely talented young people now. But they're not the ones who are making, except maybe for an occasional Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., who I think is inspired as an actor, Deborah Winger, people like that. But on the whole, they are casting films for young people. People of my age hold no interest whatever for movie makers because they don't think our problems are interesting, which is interesting in itself. But they really don't. So that more often than not, a role that I think I would be good for, and probably would be good for, will go to someone very ultra-established. Anne Bancroft always gets the roles I want in the older woman category. And she's about the only one. I don't see Shirley MacLaine exactly, doing millions of movies. It's very difficult for older people. Not the guys as much, because you can still be Sean Connery and be making love to Catherine Zeta-Jones. Wow. Amazing. It's such an odd society in which we live. It's so different from Europe and Spanish countries. It's a whole other thing.